pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible. Let's hear the invocation very quickly. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to serve our community. We ask that you lead us and guide us so that we make correct and positive decisions for the people we serve. Help us to be fair, open, and genuine in our pledge to serve our community. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Did they say hi?
Huh?
I really did say hi.
Stay busy. The consent agenda.
Let me grab a chair right here.
Just let me do that. Okay, we have a set of minutes for the consent agenda that we need to approve. These are minutes for the meeting on 2/22/21, 3/18/21, 6/23/21. And if you would, we'll start with the 2/22/21 and read those over, and I'll accept the motion. We can approve all these at one time.
Sure. Yeah, you can.
So just go ahead and start with those, and we'll look them over, and then I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So move to approve all three as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as they are presented. Does anyone have any discussion about that? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Motion carries 3-0. All right, and I will sign all of these things.
Danny?
Yes.
I don't, we need help with the door.
He's got one more
Come on in, sir.
Oh,
Good to see you.
How you doing, Jake?
How's they feeling?
Feeling better, but.
Hi, Jay.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Jake, we did the opening ceremony and pledge and all that, and we just, you can look over those minutes there, we just approved the minutes that we had last week.
Would you hand those over to Danny so he can autograph them all? I'll just read there. Give me a writing tool. Here. Yes, sir.
Were you napping, Jake?
No, just watching TV.
I was too, and then I just.
So that's what I was
That phone starts ringing.
to suggest. If no one has any objections, I would like to move to item B on the presentation discussion for the Peanut Festival. And get that out of the way, then we can go ahead and move on to the rest. Is there any objection to that?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Danny.
Chad,
That's over here.
Tom, or someone like to lead off on this?
Well, we have representatives from the Peanut Festival here tonight. Y'all took an action on the terms that y'all wanted to convey to them for the revenue split after expenses for us to assist them with the Peanut Festival this coming year. I wasn't at that meeting, but I want to say it was a 70-30 offer to them. They, of course, have discussed it in their meeting, and they're here to tell you that they are willing to counter with a 60-40 split. And how was that 60-40? Was it us 60 and y'all 40 then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The key thing to all this, gentlemen, is time is getting very, very short. So we need to give them an answer tonight, or tell them to find other means. I've been researching it. There are other options, but they would prefer to go with the city and with the 4A. You know, to work with partners with us to keep it local. And if y'all would like to add anything to that. Ladies, the floor is yours.
Yes, we, thank you for letting us come back with you with this counter proposal. It is the board's desire that, you know, that hopefully that we can come to terms on the 60-40, because they do want the 4A to take on this endeavor, you know, on that. And I mean, you're local, we're community, we're working together, and that is our first priority in this. So the 60-40 is something that the board felt that we would be able to work with. And of course, we talked about the expenses coming off on the top, and we, which I think we'd spelled out talked about with Tom and the board at our last meeting. So if there's any other information you need from us, but again, we are hoping that we can come to terms on the 60-40.
Now, you were talking about expenses.
Yes, sir, that would be the cost of the, and help me out, Carrie, as I go along here. The cost of the beer would come off, you know, off total gross sales. And then the beer license, the ice, and then any payment for contracted service. Because, you know, they have to be TABC.
The way this is proposed, that's not their concern. We're going to handle all of that. We would be the ones scheduling all that. I've already started working on scheduling all of that. I've found servers that are fairly cheap, where we can get TABC servers to supplement what we may have here. The way I kind of envisioned it is the city we would use city staff to collect money and issue tickets, and we would use these contract servers we hire to hand out the beer. And then we would also use the beer vendor themselves and the same staff we use from the city to do the loading up of the tubs and whatnot.
Do we feel comfortable that we can handle this? Because the festival's a big event. You know, handling a wedding or quinceanera here, we can handle that. Can we handle the thousands of people coming in? Chess, what do you think? Because if we can't handle it, we should say we can't handle it. But let it go to.
Now, you know, I have been involved in that the other nights, and I'll tell you what, manpower, you're gonna have to have shifts, you know, because 4 guys ain't gonna be able to handle it from 1 o'clock, let's say, till midnight. So you have to have shifts. So it's gonna take personnel.
Yes, sir.
And
I can't speak for what Cheddis has done, but knowing full well what you're speaking about, I've contacted 2 service, kind of like host companies in San Antonio. Both of them are involved with Fiesta. And they literally would provide that shifts of people to us, some of which are actually people they already have as their independent TABC servers out here. Like when you go to HEB and you see people handing you wine, they would have the shifts. I think I have a grasp of what it requires, but the key is that if we're running it, we're gonna make the decisions based upon what it requires and Peanut Festival is going to accept our decisions, if that cost is a little more, that cost of the expenses is a little more than y'all were expecting, well, sorry, that's what we're doing to guarantee a successful event. So that's, I
Correct.
mean, that's kind of it. You know, the nights have a setup that, you know, we can possibly discuss, but I've also checked that, all that can be rented. I mean, booths, tubs, all that can be rented if we had to. But you gotta make a commitment, and we need to do it quick, because this is gonna take some.
If we get a contract service to hand out the beer, I don't see that being an issue. It's more of
Supervising.
we're getting the people to handle the tickets and the money.
And that leaves Ches out there like last time, you know, all through, was it 2 or 3 nights? And that's just why we feel, you know, shouldn't be 50-50 when it's the 4A, you know.
And the city's.
They're air the whole time, you know, and
Like I said, I would feel more comfortable if we have the city running the tickets, running the, you know, kind of the logistics of the beer filling up. We just have these servers, mostly because these independent companies also are insured. And that's what I want, that insurance. I want some type of remove between us
Yeah,
and
that's
the
right, you
people
need
who are
city staff.
handing a beer to someone.
The
That
city
way it's
staff
still
should-
liable.
you need-
They're on-
and it wouldn't fall on the city, like, say something were to happen, like Jake's been
Shift that
mentioning this
too.
whole time.
And right now.
Even though we're the ones that sold the tickets, are we on the hook for it, the 4A on the hook for it, or it
It
would
just
be?
depends
We
if
sold
we're
a
gonna have
ticket, but we
anybody
didn't
that wants to
hand anybody
volunteer to
beer.
be
Yeah,
out
so
there.
that wouldn't fall on us, that would be in the contract, you know,
Well,
or,
it never works that
Since
simple.
who's gonna be
That's
willing
what
to be out
But
there
at the end
fighting
of the day,
Saturday
I
night?
think having an independent contractor who's actually doing the actual distribution of the beer to the public is another line, a buffer of liability there, because we have nothing to do with it. We're gonna use the Floresville Police Department as security, and also maybe some Wilson County guys. You know, we wanna make sure we have a safe event, and I'm not, you know, to protect my clients and to protect the city, the expenses are whatever they are. You know.
It's the city staff inside taking the money for the tickets.
That's the way I
Is
envision
gonna
it.
be the issue,
yeah.
because right now it's just me over here. And
I
that's a
think
lot of.
that runs into overtime, then runs into
And that's-
additional costs.
And
And
that's
with
given-
him his
Couldn't we
salary, you
hire-
think they're gonna give him overtime?
What about your ladies that you have here? The ones that our beverage servers here could handle that component of it. And then we have this private bunch.
So don't you just use contractors, no city staff, just contractors?
Well, the people, the 2 companies I talked to, they'll do the whole thing. They'll do every aspect of this, it just costs more. You know, and it cuts out of our bottom line. But I figured the
But
city,
whose bottom line, our bottom line or the festival's bottom line?
well, it's gonna cut out both of ours because it's gonna be an additional expense.
It's, the
Well-
expenses are coming off the top, and then we go the.
So the remaining balance is what gets split.
60.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
so-
who's purchasing the beer?
We are.
We are.
That comes off the
Regardless
top.
of whoever sells
We're
it.
40.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's,
They'd be our employees selling our,
Okay, the contractors, the one you're talking about from
Now,
the
they,
Fiesta?
they would be contracted to sell the beer, and they have their own liability insurance and stuff like that.
for their.
In other words, if they sell
Oh,
beer
okay.
to
There's
someone.
two
I
different.
thought the understanding was that the Peanut Festival was gonna work with this contractor directly.
No, we're proposing turnkey operation, that's the term I'm gonna use. So for the 60/40, you know, y'all take it and we're hands off.
And I think there's 2 different scenarios that, and Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. One scenario would be that there's these entities that could come in and do everything. They
Right.
would, you know, they could come in and sell, serve. We wouldn't have, I mean, y'all, kind of like the city wouldn't do anything. It would be us working with them and be
Okay.
done with it.
They just use our license or?
No.
Right. They have a license.
Okay, I must understand the involvement of the 4A then.
What if we use them just as servers?
If we just pay them for servers, that's markedly cheaper than the rest of this. That's a fee, like $60. I think it was $60 for 4 servers an hour, was what they quoted me. I was like, okay.
And y'all would use your license. It would be
And
the
it
same
would
thing.
be us using our license, we would be purchasing beer, but we'd sell the beer for what we want. I also found during the research that theoretically, they could contract with these people too, and that those people would do the whole thing, and they don't need us at all. But they got a markedly high, then the markup's a lot higher, but it's between them.
'Cause you
However,
gotta use
this
their
is,
license.
this is kind of,
They would be on their own license.
yeah, they would. We would have nothing to do with this, and, you know, if you're worried about liability, well, you're absolutely immune from it then. But, you know, the sense that I get is that the Peanut Festival wants to keep this thing kind of local. They want to work with partnerships with the city, the 4A. So they would be, we would be handling it from there, but we would still use our license. We would buy all the beer and all of the stuff. We'd charge what we want for the beer. I think last year we did $4.50 or $4, I don't remember. Maybe y'all do. And then at the end of it all, you know, I would try to streamline our costs to maximize everybody's profits. But the main thing I think is very important that we have is the people holding the beer, handing it to the public. We hire those people, the whole group. Nobody there works for the city, no one works for our facility. Those are hired people, and they fall under their own license. They fall under their own insurance.
And we have them there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
What are y'all doing
Friday,
Thursday?
Saturday.
Nothing Thursday, just Friday, Saturday?
Friday,
It's just a
Saturday.
Friday evening and
And
Saturday from
Saturday.
noon till,
Yeah,
Whatever
10
it
or
is.
noon till midnight.
but I
So how many shifts is that, would they?
haven't gotten into all that yet because I need an answer. Yeah, I mean, no, I can tell you, I told, here's what I said, and Jake can weigh in on this because I haven't ever been on the receiving end of the dispensing beer. I didn't think we would need Friday as, Saturday during the day, I did not think they would need as many staffers as they would. What?
Still do all day.
I know it goes all day, but you probably could get away with, you know, 2
From
or.
like 10 to.
You need at least 4.
Okay, well, we can have 50 if we want them, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, y'all tell me how many you need. The point was, I talked to them, I thought the day would be slower than the night, but it doesn't really matter, we can
No,
have 4 up
it will
top.
be slower, but you need 4 guys during the day. Once it hits 5 o'clock, between 4 and 5, then you need to bring a full crew,
What's a full crew?
like maybe
6.
6.
Well, all of it,
5 to 6.
it's the sky.
Now, I would say 10, because those 6 are here, because they're gonna be serving in 3 different places, or even 4 different places.
We don't
Okay?
know what we're gonna, we would decide that.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, and if you're gonna provide the beverages, you know, it gets packed like that. There's lines, and every place you have somebody stationed to sell beer. Now, of course, it's not like that all day long, you know. You might have a group that'll come, that you haven't lined up, you know, for beer, and then it slows down a little bit, and then here it comes again.
Okay.
All right, so you have to be prepared for that. Now, you have to have guys to go get you the cases of beer once you're getting ready to cool down beer. You have to have at least 2 troughs with ice ready to distribute to the other troughs that are selling over here, okay? Cooling those beers down, okay? It's a lot of work. And the manpower, you have to have it. If you're gonna go in with 6, it's not gonna work. Because you're gonna have at least 3 guys bringing beer from the trailer or from the truck or whatever, you know, and icing them down. While the other guys are over here selling beer. Now, if they're not that busy, well, they can help also, but you gotta be prepared.
The way I envisioned it was those people you're speaking of, that's those logistics bar back people, because that's what that's called. They're not servers, they're bar backs, they're not serving beer.
Right, yeah, right.
That would be people, local people, either the city uses city employees who want to make some OT, or we retain someone for $10 an hour to do that. I don't know. I don't have that. Or this place will provide those as well. It's more expensive through them. But again, the way I see it is we need someone to take money and issue tickets, someone to bar back, and some group to serve. That's what y'all need to do.
It sounds like to me that we probably don't have enough staff,
You absolutely do not.
so we probably have to go with a contractor, don't you think? In some form or fashion.
I've heard, talking when we discussed this, that we would have enough staff. I don't think y'all do. I think I would rather.
And if we do, you know, we're a month and a half away, so we might not have time to get the team together.
I think it would be pushing it.
Okay.
That's
So
why.
let's take out that option. So then the option is, okay, either the festival works with the contractor directly, or we work with the contractor. Is that what's left on the table?
That's the only two ways I see that.
You just tell them, no, you guys go through the contractor yourselves, 4A's out of it, and we're not involved.
So 60/40, what happens with a 60/40 then?
Well, if what?
If we work with the contractor, y'all are out of it.
Yeah.
But if y'all work with the
But
contractor,
who provides the licensing?
they
They do.
Oh, they do, okay.
But if y'all work with them, you're just gonna work with them on a server basis, using servers. Because if it's to use them completely, then we can do that, and is that what you're asking, or is that, or what?
It's gonna be vastly more expensive if they
Right.
use their license.
Because they're doing
That's
everything.
the thing. But there again,
It's working for cheaper.
we're absorbing that liability if we use our license.
Just working
So,
cheaper, just working cheaper than they would,
If,
the license company. We're doing the same kind of work they're gonna do, but we're making less than they would. I just don't think 60/40 is fair. 70/30, I thought was very fair.
I'm thinking, that it might be better packaged all in one package.
Yeah, just, it's a lot to put, because who do you think they're gonna have out there the whole time? You think they're gonna give them overtime? No. Did they last time?
That's the other thing, we gotta figure out how we're gonna have to pay city staff too.
Well, I think basically, gentlemen, my standpoint on it is, I think we worried about liability. You don't have any liability, you just decline to help, decline to assist them.
And do they really need to sell beer this year?
I mean, I don't know, that's really, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's up to
Everybody's wearing a
them.
mask anyway, they can't drink it.
I'm not a beer drinker myself, so for me it doesn't matter, but somebody wants it.
I think that the Peanut Festival does have options.
It's a lot of work
They could do
for
it.
us.
Chris, tell me if you don't agree, but I say let the festival handle the whole thing, and we're out of it this year.
Exactly.
Maybe we could look at it for next year?
We can have enough time to plan and see exactly, so, will that be okay?
And to be, yeah, because we can bring more staff in, get more staff involved, because it is a lot of work.
Yeah, well, right, our first choice was to have the 4A. We've been talking about the license for a while, we picked up with that, and then, doing the 60/40. And, I mean, that was the first desire of the Board of Directors of the Peanut Festival Association.
Okay.
And so if this is something that the 4A feels is not ready to go forward at this time.
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for the 4A, for the city, because for many years, the city has sponsored the event with big dollars, and there really isn't any revenue for the city to recoup that. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to recover some of those costs that we put out. Whether it be the 4A, the 4B, or the city themselves, hotel, motel tax.
Right, it is an opportunity.
Yes,
to-
but
to-
if we're
to
not,
get the
if we're not
funding.
ready, if we're not ready this year, we don't want the festival to fail and for us to have a bad mark as a poor service or something.
No, well, I mean, we're willing to work together and whatever, but it, we have
I
to
think
be
what helped
on
us
board
last year
together.
was the Knights were still involved,
Yeah.
and they were
Mhm.
able to be there, because they already had the system down, it's just really.
Yeah, they were collecting.
Now, let me bring that, something else up. You're gonna need a beer booth to sell tickets away from the beer stand. And the Knights have the beer booth. Now, I talked to them and so on, and it's well-made, and it's lighted, and it's got counters and so on, but they want $4.50 for it. And, but, I mean, it's a well-built thing, it's not,
It's actually not that bad.
Huh?
It's actually not that bad.
Oh, 450, no, it's not.
yeah.
Again, whose cost would that come out of? Would that come out of ours, or would that come out of the cost before the 60/40?
If-
Okay,
We would keep it, so.
But we would be able to keep it, right?
Yes.
Right, if
yes.
it's something you keep, then that would be an expense that doesn't
Yes.
get
Yeah, but then we gotta store it.
But then you have it for future.
Exactly. We'll go pick it up, and I told them, because they were thinking about selling it, I said, don't sell it yet. I said, the peanut festival might be interested.
But then we
Well,
have
all the
a
money
problem
they've made
storing.
over the years, they should just donate it, if you ask me. They've walked away.
Well, but they
Hands
donate,
up.
we donate other charities too, you know.
I'm gonna say this, I mean, we can't even store our lawnmowers indoors.
No, no.
So, I don't see any place, that, you know, we would have to store that unless we haul
True.
it down to the city yard or somewhere. And I would venture guess if we do that, in 2 years, it won't be usable. But, that's something we have to think about, what are we gonna do with the thing?
How much
When
do
we own it.
those storage things
The
cost?
city's gonna pay for it now.
Yeah.
But the city will pay a storage monthly fee for us. We use it every year.
So, do we have a consensus, or is there any more discussion on allowing
I'm
the
open
Peanut Festival?
for a motion to go either way.
Okay.
Whatever someone would like
What do you
to
think?
present is a motion, I'm
It's,
open to.
it'd be awesome to work together like everyone wants to, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're just ready. I mean, with COVID, and we don't even know what's gonna happen. They're gonna lay someone else off, and again, I'm thinking of the employees, the salary employees. Who are they gonna have out there all day?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I mean,
All right, well, I'll make the motion that the 4A will not provide the beer license for the Peanut Festival, and encourage the Peanut Festival to find their own contractor. Works, does that work?
Right, to decline the 60/40 and
Yes.
pull out of the negotiations.
This for this.
For this Peanut Festival, we can talk about it next year.
With enough time, we can talk about it.
Okay.
I'll second that one.
Okay.
So I have a motion by Tejada to drop the negotiations for this year. And I have a second by Gona for the same motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Well, okay.
So, there we are.
Now, let's talk about peanut booth. You know, so, if they're gonna sell the beer, it's up to you now.
Yeah, I don't, well, first of all, I would like to say I'm saddened that we're not gonna go forward, you know, with the plan this year, but I certainly understand, and I know our board of directors will as well, and appreciate the thought and the time that has gone into thinking this out so that it's better for the event and the community as a whole, because this event is not our event, it's an event for the community.
Exactly.
You know, we bring heads and beds
Yeah.
and the people in the community come together. It's about bringing people to our beautiful city. So, I mean, with that, I mean, I'm sad, disappointed, but I certainly understand. And then we will, of course, look at contract services and just do the whole turnkey as well.
and just want to say, it wasn't something we just decided right away. No, we're not gonna do it. Believe me, it's been like, what, 4 or 5
Exactly.
months where we've been, can we do it? Can we do that? How's it gonna play out?
Right.
It wasn't just a no, tell them to go do it on their own, you know?
Exactly.
But we did, I mean, we did weigh about the work of this and the work
Right.
it'll bring on the staff
Right,
before he does have,
absolutely.
so.
Absolutely, and we
It-
appreciate
It really
that.
was tough. I mean, be
Mhm.
honest, I'm just in the middle. I could have gone either way. It's,
So, 1 year.
Okay, well, let's all get in there
Let's
and
all
watch
pray
and
and
see how
hope
they
it,
do
you know.
it, right? Absolutely.
Well, maybe we can, it might be
It is very
possible
in the
to learn
logistics of
something
it.
from how they
Right.
do
It really
Exactly.
is very in the logistics of it.
Right, so, yeah, I'm gonna myself try to pay more attention as to how the mechanics of it work, but,
Well, thank you very much right now. We
okay,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
and I'm not, just to bring it up again, I know Mr. Tejada, Mr. Gleason said it to some of the Peanut Festival members, there's a always open spot for them, right, to join the board here as one of us with y'all, so we can continue to work together and,
Awesome, okay.
did that offer still stand?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, we
Yeah.
would.
Keep each other in the
I
loop
can see where we
constantly
might
and-
like to have a representative.
Okay, we will, I'll
We've
take
got
that to
plenty
the
of
board and
work,
talk
we've
to
got
them.
plenty of work.
I remember from my.
Well, he means us come over here and then we
And
want
one of them over
Yeah,
there,
we want
yeah.
one over there,
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well,
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for all your, hard work and diligence in trying to process this. I know the board is gonna be, you know, it's not the outcome we'd hoped for, but it's something that we'll definitely work together, hopefully for the future to make work.
Definitely.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, we've got some other agenda items.
Excuse us, I'm
All
sorry.
right, I see you.
Item A, we'll move back to item A on the presentation and discussion of new business. Brief facility or the city manager or event manager, brief facility on the discussion, possible action by board, monthly reports, et cetera, rentals, tenants, daily operation of the building. Chad, that's.
Yes, I give you all the monthly reports for this last month of July. We look at our sales tax in the bottom left, they have been pretty steady increased. I believe these next 2 months, as we close out the year, they're gonna even increase even more the back to school teachers. You can see how busier the highways and the stores and everything is, so that's gonna be a big push for our sales tax, for our budget for the next following year as well. Our rentals are pretty consistent on the rise right now. We're just trying to do everything we can just to keep it maintained. We redid the floors. We worked with the council to get our budget right this year, to get some new maintenance stuff that we can keep this building maintained and keep functioning, because we're on our 12th year, we're on our 12th year next year. So we're just trying to keep it as busy as we can. Our gym's super busy. We redid those floors. We put some money into those floors. I think it was in 2015, 2016, maybe Gloria, you can correct me, when we redid that. Yeah, so we want to make sure we keep that top notch as much as we can, and we spent a lot of money on that, redoing them from the leak. We did fix the leaks that we had here. That was a good thing, so they're pretty much all patched up. We're gonna try to keep that maintained as well. We just have little issues that is just the building just getting older.
Yeah, and the thing that we have to understand is that the saleability of this building is dependent on the condition we keep it in. Nobody wants to have their programs or their building that's dingy, old, and has problems. When they come into a building that they want to have a meeting or a quinceañera or a wedding, they want things that are clean, the floors are polished and things like that. And I think we need to be very cognizant of that. And that needs to be one of our top priorities, is making sure that the building, and after all, the building is one of our primary concerns.
Yeah, and council did approve the budget where we can bring back some employees, so we'll be having 2 employees come back to help us keep this maintained and just keep the year going, because we are booked pretty much every Saturday, almost Fridays too, so we're staying busy. We want to continue to grow so we can be able to go out and market the building like we were before, and bringing in companies to do their meetings and so forth. What I would like to work on is probably I know I talked to Andy, we're working on trying to get the crew out here to power wash the back of the building, to have it, because we've grown so much back there,
That's what they see when they're leaving.
Yeah, that's what we
I was
see
actually
out
gonna
there.
say something about that.
And it's just
to see it leaving the
Park right
fields.
beside it, and when they go to their cars, they gotta see this.
Yeah, and if you look back there, Wildcat it's packed back there right now, so it's built, it's being used what it's supposed to be used
Intended
for. Now it's just, well, we never had that issue before when there was nothing back there, but since there, we just gotta go ahead and power wash that area and eventually get a paint job for it, but, there's just stuff like that, we're just working together.
From what I understand, what I interpreted from the council that night and from Andy, we've got approval for that, as long as that kind of the agenda that we put forth. But we've got to wait for the money to come in. I kind of called it a church budget, because that's what a church has to do. They get the money as, you know, they spend it as it comes in. You know, they may not have it all in the beginning. So we will have to, if we want the things that we want, we've got to get out there and earn the money through our management and through our diligence at watching the budget, so that we ensure that we have the money there to do the things that we want to do, like patching the stucco and stuff like that in places. And I think it's very, very important that we do that.
Bill, can I say something?
Sure, please.
That night Chess gave a report to us as far as the things that need, I mean, a great need, that need to be done. And I think that we were all in consensus to go ahead and work one thing at a time. And I noticed Saturday, our parking lot, I mean, that is really
Well, that's
needed,
been
but
being
of course,
fixed for like 4 years already,
some
right?
other,
The council turned it down.
do some, you know, I think that was a priority, but
They
I'm
got
not gonna
turned
go
down.
into all of it, but anyway.
Yeah.
That's our most
What-
noticeable embarrassment.
Yeah.
It was turned down, but he did give a report, and our finance director said, well, that's gonna be $100,000. But like Andy said, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Like Bill says, the church budget. And we were all agreeing with Chess that this really, really is a priority, and we really need to get this done, especially the air condition.
Yes, definitely. And we're working on that too as well, because that's one of the biggest issues too right now. And it's just trying to get everybody here at once, the vendors that are here, so we can get that temporary fix, so we can figure out a bigger plan how to fix it correctly. And eventually, you know, if we gotta replace some units, so we can have a plan to replace them so many years. But I can, on the positive note, we did have our first powwow. Awesome event. We
That
had
was
a
awesome.
very successful event here.
I've
If you
had
didn't make
nothing
it,
but good
Yeah,
comments
good.
all over from people I didn't even know were
Yeah.
telling me that it was an excellent event. And I think that proves something else to us. It should tell us that, you know, multiculturalism and working with different cultures can be very good for us. There is someone that we never, you know, Danny and I thought about it many years ago, but we didn't get any, nobody got really excited about it, because they thought, well, there's not, it won't go, it'll just be something. But it did go.
Oh, yeah. We had people from all over, all over.
One of the teachers
Do
I
you
work
think
with,
we had
he was a
at least
guitarist in the
500
band.
people in the event center that day?
We had about 1,000 come in and out. More than 1,000 come in and out all day.
And those people, a lot of them probably stayed in motels and things like that.
They did. I know this Holiday Inn, there was 25 rooms booked just for a lot of the dancers. And then La Quinta had about another 15, because we got one, he gave us some.
Something we need to dig into,
Yeah.
in my opinion. is-
Because it was a fabulous event. It was just wonderful.
No, and it's working like, everybody's been saying here, is working with the 4A, the 4B was involved as well,
Yeah.
and the city. So all three entities worked together, and it was a successful event.
It's the synergy of everyone working together that makes more than the sum of the parts.
And it was so much fun dancing.
You know, one of the things that I have noticed is that we don't promote this building enough. Okay? Today, I was looking at a literature that came in our mail, and it had Eleanor Hall. And they had
St. Luke's.
Huh?
St. Luke's Hall, correct, something like that?
St. Anthony.
St. Anthony.
St. Anthony's, I'm sorry, I knew it was.
And he showed tables real nice, dressed, you know, and so on. And there was a picture, and for rent, and the phone number, where to call, and so on. And then he went to Lodi, out there. They had their hall, and so on. And I kept looking, and I told my wife Francis, I said, I wonder if our event center's here. No, it's not.
Well, and
Yes, it was.
you know, Bernie, I get so aggravated at
Was it
Bernie,
there?
up there talking about
It
their
was.
historical community.
It was.
They don't have a
Was
fourth
it
of the
there?
history that we do.
Yeah, but we don't tour for them.
But we don't get out and talk about it.
Exactly.
It was a
Like I
small,
said,
it was probably a small ad that we had in there just because budget-wise. I know these last 2 years has been very hard to market
It's like a quarter page up in the corner.
Yeah,
We're
so.
not doing the billboard, we're doing 30 nickel.
And it's been here since, I believe Gloria's been here. We
Yes.
market in all the schools, all the districts. It's just, we got hit hard with this coronavirus. But we do, once we get the help, Jake, and, board members, that's our plan, is to build this place, to market it. So
Okay.
October 1, we are going live finally with our website, where people can just type in Event Center or Floresville Event Center, and it will take us straight to our own page. No more of the city page and looking for it. It's gonna take us straight to here, and it's gonna show all the sports complex, it'll show the pavilions, everything out here in this area.
Because the first powwow thing that, when I was here, we had it at the pavilion. But it was very small, nothing compared to what was on
Remember the
Saturday.
day when we had the funeral or the burial out here?
Yes.
They came in and they looked and everybody said, what a great place to have. We had something there and we didn't realize the power of what we had sitting out there behind that little barrier fence out there.
Right.
We thought it was a problem because we had spent so much time working on it. But
Fencing
that
in,
problem has
there it
turned
is.
into an asset, and I think we need to capitalize on it and other things that are in this community that we can really go into partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and the Parks Department, the Federal Parks Department, the Las Cabras Mission, and stuff like that.
So speaking of them, I sat in a meeting with Mr. Giles, and he invited me to a meeting with the national parks. And they're coming out here to clean up that trail area that's across right there.
To Las Cabras.
Las Cabras, yes. So they're wanting to clean it up and bring out a tour on the third Saturday. They're trying to find a date, a third Saturday of every month, to be able to start here at the event center, get picked up, drop your car, or at the park, and then you follow over there, park, and they just tell you the history about it.
We had one,
Yeah.
and there were buses that picked up
Yeah, that's what they said.
and
Yeah.
took them, and then they would bring them back. You remember
Right.
that, Bill, because you helped with
Right.
that too.
And,
So they
you
want to
know,
bring that back.
there's no reason why we can't do the same thing about the whole city. I mean, we've got more historical markers here than you can count on both hands, right in the city limits. We've got fascinating stories, that Trial Cemetery out there behind the El Macias and the Baptist church back there. There's a cemetery. Most people in town don't even know it's there, but it is. It's got a fascinating history behind it.
They even talked about making a museum for all the stuff they have.
Be
and
fantastic.
I believe this area right here was meant for that in the opening plans. They were talking about making this room right here into a museum. So
The
people,
National Park Service?
I believe,
Or who was talking about?
I think when y'all first started building this building, it was talked about possibly making this room right here into a museum for people to come in and see the history.
Yes.
I'd say you need maybe twice this building.
And the only thing I have to say is that Shez was hiding from us. He wouldn't even get in the thing and dance and.
I was just making sure none of the mics messed
Oh,
up.
yeah, excuses.
I didn't see him with feathers on it.
No.
But very successful event. Vendors, everybody loved the event. We had a vendor down from, I believe, North Dakota selling bison meat, and they sold out. They sold
I
out.
didn't see that.
Yeah, it was right by the bar outside. They sold out pretty quick.
Was that the last one that left, maybe?
On that bison turkey.
Yeah, they were pretty close to the end when they left.
I have a niece that just graduated from law school at the University of South Dakota. And her roommate, who was in law school with her, they both just took the bar. But her roommate is going to be on the council of the Lakota Sioux Nation. And she's going to be an attorney for them. And it's fascinating, you know, the kind of connections you can make with things like that. You know, what if we had a national powwow out here? Something like that.
Why not?
And,
Got all that
you
space
know,
outside, all that.
remember when Joe used to come in here and tell us about wanting to have the polka thing? I bet we could attract a lot of people doing that.
Yeah.
There's no
We got-
reason
There's
we
some
had
brats and
Polish
beer, why not, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. I bet we could attract a lot of people. And there's no reason why we can't, you know, accommodate things like, a village band practicing here or something like that on a Sunday afternoon, and bringing the nursing home, and where the older people can come in and watch it, and they don't care if they start and stop and practice. They just want to hear the music and they want to get together and talk to each other. And we can do that right here.
Well, this is something that we need to work on, you know, and not, let it, go by us.
We have a tendency
I
to do
agree,
that.
this
Be
place,
consistent.
yeah, this place can attract a lot of people. Well, we do attract a lot of people, but I think we can attract more
I think we can.
by advertising it and show what we have
And
inside.
talk about it. When we
Yes,
go
exactly.
places, talk about it.
There's nothing wrong by putting ads on the paper.
When you go
Or
to
a
TML,
commercial.
you know, talk about it, have pictures of it. Ask to be on the program and show it. Make them jealous, you know.
Like I said, when I saw Kosciuszko and Altendorf and Sapanko Church was there too. Yeah.
I didn't see such fun.
What
Yeah,
is
it's
it,
there.
Because you
SD
probably missed
people just
ours
don't
because
get
we were
it.
only given $20 to.
Well, he
To
hadn't
budget.
seen it, but I pointed it
$20
out.
budget.
You know, there's a
Budgeted
story,
at 13 nickel and we need to do billboards and commercials.
there's a story in the Army
We should.
that a senior master sergeant was put in charge of the local club, EM club, the enlisted and officers club. And it had been costing money for years. So he took all the money he could rustle together and put in had a big band and had a big thing, shindig. And he thought, well, that's either gonna break us and put us out of business or it's gonna make us. And he got to where the problem was he couldn't find enough ways to spend the money he was bringing in because of the publicity and the new stuff that he was adding. It kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he had the other problem. I've got a budget that I have to spend every year. So I think a lot of that applies to us. We need to not be afraid to invest in something that's going to make us some money. And advertising and promotion like you're talking about, Jay, we'll do that.
What item are we on?
Hmm?
What item?
We're on the
Get
last
it
one.
on TV.
Still on
It sounded like y'all were talking about the last one.
We're talking about money.
Yeah,
Well,
you were talking about
A
plans.
and D are just about the same item, or A and
Well, I'm sorry, I kind of was thinking about something else.
You're dozing off.
Let me say something about the budget. We expect to hit $1 million in sales tax in the 4B. So that means in the 4A, we should expect to hit $500,000. That's what we're projecting, is $1 million. We've never hit $1 million in sales tax before.
So you could probably give us at least, maybe 100,000 to do our, parking lot? He looks at me.
Well, I think y'all took all of our money.
Give
Wasn't that
it back.
agreement? That was the agreement, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think she was asking about the 4B.
Oh, the 4B.
Exactly.
Well,
I was
I think we
asking
did
about
offer,
the
what,
I think 4B is a
250?
different
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
than
Y'all
we're
gave us
4A.
250, but y'all took it back because,
Because y'all voted no.
You know, the parking lot,
don't say y'all.
the parking lot is functional, but it sure is on the border. And it would be nice to have a new, it'd also be nice to have that perimeter
Yeah.
road back there
Back
where
there.
you could,
Yep.
that you don't have to worry about the gullies in it.
Mhm. Sometime or another, we'll need some fencing back there also.
Yeah. The,
And the biggest thing is just working with 4B, 4A in the city, because this is the heart of Floresville, I think. I mean, this is what brings
I
people
agree.
here. It's the event center, the sports complex, all this area is what's attracting our biggest attraction in Floresville.
it's the biggest
I believe,
investment this
did
city's
y'all
ever
get
made.
somebody, was it a realtor or somebody?
A consultant.
A consultant.
The EDC just hired a consultant, and during the process of interviewing, we asked him what they felt was the biggest attraction for Flores. What is the one thing that we need to work on? Without a doubt, he says your event center and your sports complex could bring a lot of people into your town.
Fully agree.
And we worked hard to make sure we had that sports complex, right? Then
Well, they can work
Floresville's the heart of
together. If
Wilson
you-
County, so
I've often wondered if the city turned over or if we had the parks, or maybe the 4A committee, corporation, whatever, and had someone as a leader to run that as a total unit. We've got something that very few, we've got a rentable space down there, a picnic space, a camping space, whatever. We've got competitive fields here. We've got a beautiful facility here in the thing. Market it together where we can use all of the things.
Yes, all the components. Yep.
And then we've got the canoe, not even to mention the
Yeah.
canoe trail out here.
I
And a possible museum. Someday we might even build our own museum out here. But it's something that we could have a really neat thing, I think, but we gotta market it. We gotta show that people know it's here.
You gotta remember too, all the homes that Richard Roman is planning on building out here, there's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the ones that are interested in the horse facility back here too, because people want, what if we offered a stable back there where people could keep a horse and use the arena? Pay rent, and have events out there.
Well, that's one thing that you're working on also, Chess, is the arena, right?
Yeah, we're working on the
That
Park
was
and
one thing
Recs
you brought up.
department, we're looking into that, because Pleasanton, I'm telling you, Pleasanton has an awesome Parks and Recs there. They just got a bunch of grants and money that they redid all their parks, but we have more than what they have. We have an event center that, it's unbelievable with the
Lots of
gym
that.
there, the sports complexes, the roping arena is getting fixed little by little right now. We just finished the amphitheater, I think it's pretty much about to be done. I mean, so there's a lot here that we have to offer, it's just,
doing it.
yeah,
Need to make sure we keep that mode so we don't
Yeah.
keep the stickers out of that area.
definitely,
People don't
yeah.
like to sit on stickers.
They're supposed to grade the whole area again to make it smooth and grow the grass and get all that out of here, yeah. But yeah, hosting our first powwow, I know since I've been here, we've been talking about it, so before that, so that's a big, big move for us, and they loved it. It was tribes from all over, they're talking about putting an even bigger one, like you just said, a national one, they talked about it that day.
You know, there's on Facebook, there is a powwow Facebook page, and they put pictures in from all over the United States. And my wife is Chickasaw, so we get that, I got that through her thing, the Chickasaw Times. But that would be a good publicity thing. I looked for it the other day and it wasn't on there. So if we could get it on the national page of this powwow thing, they put stuff up every day, new places. Most of it's South Dakota and North Dakota, but and over Oklahoma.
And you know, those people were all so nice and friendly.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody that, so it was a wonderful event, whoever
Yeah.
had anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
it was good.
And we're all blood brothers with that too. Remember that ceremony we did?
Oh,
I
yes.
may have, and didn't we may have something, right, Francis? We have to look it up.
Well, my wife is registered Chickasaw.
Okay. Better watch it, Bill.
Okay. Anything else on that item? Then we'll move on. I think we've pretty much discussed item C along with it.
Have we? Well, I think Mr. Tejada has some
Okay.
questions.
No questions.
Oh,
Just,
I'm sorry, that was specific to the December 11th event. Go ahead, Danny.
Just an update from Ches, if he's heard anything from the promoters?
Yeah, so, we finished the contract, we finished our part of it. They are selling tickets, and I'll tell you right now, we get calls every day. They already started. I know some of you guys seen the flyer out on Facebook. He's gonna update it. I talked to, one of the directors there for them, and they're gonna send us a new one as well, so we can start promoting it more and getting it going, but, we get calls every day for this event in December, all over, and they're just wanting to buy tickets. Even though we're not selling the tickets, we push them that way and give them the
They
numbers,
wanted to know
so.
where to get them.
Where to get them, yes, so,
What are the costs? I think from 20 to 50.
yeah, it just depends, 20 to 50.
I heard 50 at first, and I thought, that's a little steep.
Yeah,
20
it's
to
just
50.
depending where you wanna sit, VIP tables and, so, but no, I talked to, we closed out the contract, we have everything done, we're taking all beer sales, so they're ready to go. They're promoting it on their end, we're gonna help promote it on our social media part, all the free ones we have, so, they're looking to sell out, that's what
It's
their
been on
plan is,
Facebook,
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're looking to sell out, they're planning that they're gonna be sold out probably before November, yeah.
It's the same people that come every year?
No,
No.
no.
Is it
We have we actually have
Almost,
well,
No,
we
they
have
haven't been here in,
yeah, it's been like
Well,
5,
the
6
extravaganza,
years.
ain't them always the same people?
No,
It's
a
someone.
different one. Yeah, it's a promoter doing it, he came in, it's just named the same, but it's a promoter coming in doing it themselves.
well, they're not even calling it that, right? They're calling it the annual Christmas dance or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Lil Joe and Devan.
yeah, they give it their own name, it's just something they're doing together,
No. They haven't been here in, what, 4 years, right?
yeah,
Georgia?
4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, Devan was here, what, 2 or 3 years ago, Jake? For y'all?
Yeah, before the corona, right?
4 years ago.
4 years.
I think it was,
I thought it was like 2 or.
He was
no,
here
it was,
for our
it was
anniversary.
before I got here, cause since I've been here, we haven't.
Because there was
had
Los
it.
Tres Amigos, right, Jake?
Yeah.
I mean, Danny?
But this is,
That was in
we were doing
2012, I
anything
think.
when we were doing it.
2011, something like that.
They were brought here, but this time this is from a whole different promoter, and they're taking all the risks, all the costs, everything.
It was
Are you
after
doing
that
this
we
distributed,
All we're doing is
selling beer?
beer.
And I
There's-
remember
So
too.
So it's basically like a regular rental?
Yeah,
Los
like a regular
Tres
rental.
Amigos just came.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
we're
right,
not
Danny,
hosting,
I'm
we're not
sorry.
putting any money into it, we're just taking all the beer sales, all the rental and everything, so. So it's a good deal, hopefully we can keep this thing with the promoters coming in and continue, so, we take those sales and everything else, like, we have the boxing, we have Morones Boxing coming in
I was gonna ask
September
about that. I was
25th.
happy to see that, cause I know he said
Is
he's
that
never
coming
wanted to do it again.
September 25th?
September 25th, it's already set. He's selling tickets and tables and everything. And his is a little different because he has to get approved by the boxing commissioner 45 days out, and it's just,
There's a lot of red tape for him.
yeah, there's a lot, so, but he does a great job promoting it, and was it 2 times they've been here? Was it twice, right?
Twice.
Twice they've been here, they've packed the house, so.
It's a great event. I've
Great
come
event,
twice.
yeah,
It's a good event.
yeah, so.
If you like boxing, if you're a boxing fan.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, you feel like getting in there.
And I think just us continue to do these
We'll
things.
enter you. We'll enter you.
Almost boxed this morning, I was like.
No, I wanted to be one of those girls.
But us to continue to do these entertainment events is gonna bring other entertainment here, so I think it's a good deal.
Huh?
Is that?
Carl that was doing.
That's what I said.
And that's going to take the place of the one that he didn't do.
Yes, yeah, from the one that he didn't do, yes, so,
That we
we
paid
wanna.
for already.
Yeah, he already paid for it, so we wanna work with them, we wanna continue to have these
The box
events, to
symbol.
be able to keep these going, cause the community, and then they bring people from all over too.
Oh, yeah.
They bring fighters from all over.
Well, yeah, the
people with
fighters,
followings,
their
and-
entourage, their family, their trainers, all that, that's all hotel tax right there.
Yeah.
Yep, so,
I think the main event,
Mhm.
the last fight, he was fighting the Toyota Center in Houston.
Yeah,
It
yep.
was
Yeah.
On ESPN
Ricky
or something.
Medina, yep, Ricky Medina, he's an upcoming fighter that, after this fight, if he wins, he won't be around anymore, he'll be up in the
So
big
for that
leagues.
one, we
Wow.
get the bar, right, because he's
Yes.
already paid for rental and
Yes.
everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I have nothing more on the agenda after that. If does anybody have anything that's on the agenda that they'd like to bring up? If not, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Okay. All right, Tahada. I don't care which, they both put their hands up, so I don't care which one you put.
As long as someone puts their hands up.
All those in favor of?
Aye.
All That seems